Hey, welcome in everybody. Hey, it's KGB for the C Sports Network. Welcome in, Outlaws. As you can see, we are still currently under weather delay. I'm going to go ahead and check Twitter here. See if they got any updated news. Well, nothing new from them. The last post they had put that the start of tonight's game will be delayed due to rain. The new anticipated first pitch time is 7:15 p.m. That was supposed to be Eastern time, so we are 4 minutes past that. So, but everybody, you know I'm here with you. Those of you that might already be used to the stream, you'll know that we do music in between breaks or just during the talk time, so there's no chance of dead air. And I think it makes it a little nicer. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have to turn that extra light on here tonight. Well, I guess we'll just sit here and we can chat about different things, I guess. Hey, Jeremy, Alexander, Civ War. Yeah, you're right, Civ. I'd say with them already postponing it, but it was postponed 35 minutes. It's a good possibility they just DH it. But we'll stay here and we'll hang out and we'll do whatever until we know for sure. For any of you gamers who... Oh, let me get my cam here. Yep, and it's froze. See, that's that problem I have with the Elgato face cam. It never did it to me in the beginning. Like I had okay luck with it, and then a few updates in after I got it, it started doing that. It only does it when it's on 1080p 60 frames. So I actually have to run my cam in 1080p 30 frames. Now, it doesn't crash the Elgato software or nothing like that, but it crashes it on OBS. All right, let's try this again. What's up, everybody? Welcome in, Outlaws. Happy to have you around. Let's head on back over to the Twitter sphere and see if we have any updated news. Let's check the Braves as well. Normally they just retweet what the city hosting. Nothing new. Welcome in, everybody. As you can see, we are currently under weather delay. We currently have the Philadelphia Philly area radar showing for you. To me, it looks like heavier rain is going through roughly about 6:40 tonight, so that's here in 16 minutes. You'll see if you watch about that 6:40, you'll see the deeper yellow go up through the park. You guys might very well be right about the DH tonight. Nope, not that I see. I'm just looking on Twitter now, and they haven't changed anything, Kenneth. So it's kind of weird that we're 10 minutes past their estimated first pitch time, and they haven't updated us. I mean, if you look at the radar, it's obvious that it's gonna rain. It's even got the yellow going through even, which is a heavier rain. But we will stick it out here. Let's check the old Twinisphere again. Still no change. Not that I see anywhere. Alright everybody, I'm gonna jump off camera right now and I'll look more into it, but we're just gonna let the music go for right now until we know more information. So I will talk to you here soon. no current news update, everybody. I would suspect that the longer this goes like this, we're already almost 20 minutes past their estimated start time when they put out the rain delay notice. So I would think they are probably going to call this game off. As you can see, the radar goes through 8 p.m. Eastern time, or 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is a whole nother hour. Or no, excuse me. Yes. A whole nother hour away from me. And it's rain. Now I can't tell you how heavy that rain is. It must be significant if they're not putting anything out. Yeah, I got the lights out of my eyes. That's why my cam's covered up, everybody. All right, let's check Twitter again. There is no new news. And if you guys have been talking to me, I do. Alright, Kenneth, yeah, I can do that. Sorry, I didn't have the... I popped the chat out from the back end window, and I forgot to bring it to the front. So I didn't even see what you guys were saying. We could go ahead and go on over and visit old CeeLo on the go. On the go with CeeLo. He's streaming the baseball game as well, eh? Alright, so we are over there talking on the go with CeeLo. He is currently waiting for the game to start streaming, everybody. But the looks of it, I mean, we are now almost 30 minutes past their already postponed, rescheduled first pitch time, so I would think we're probably going to get a doubleheader. Well, thank you there very much, there, CeeLo. Appreciate it. Yeah, it would make absolute sense that, you know, they're gonna prolong it because they want people buying concessions and, you know, gift shop and they want all that done before people take off. You know, there could be people that are only in town for a night. Who knows? Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll get a game in, right? But I tell you, the radar, it doesn't look like it with the radar. Radar goes to 8:30 p.m. Eastern, so... That's right, guys. Our good friend on the go with CeeLo stopped in tonight, threw a like for the channel, and like said, and gave a hey, what's up to everybody. If you don't know who that is yet, head on over to your YouTube search bar and type in "On the Go with CeeLo," or you can probably click his name there in the chat. Great streamer. He does Braves games. I mean, he does baseball, hockey, football, basketball, NASCAR. He goes down and watches the races in live person and takes you down to the track. Heads out to like Disney World or Land, whichever it is in Florida. Takes you along for the adventures. You know, great streamer. Check him out if you guys haven't already. And we'll give a shout out to our good friend Maverick over at Maverick Sports. You can find him by going to your YouTube search and type in Maverick Sports. The button I can't show you through the stream because I have the weather radar over top of it. If I close the weather radar and turn it back on, I'll have to go in and resize it again because I just did it on the web, you know, to give you guys a look at what's going on with the radar. Like I said, it looks like Twitter's pretty silent on the Phillies side. We'll give a refresh again here. Yeah, we'll turn some of these lights back on and we'll open up the cam again. Hey, maybe I misinterpreted it. Maybe they meant 7:15 Central Time, which is coming up here in 30 minutes. Maybe that's what they meant. Everywhere I've seen, though, has said, you know, it's supposed to be Eastern. But as I was saying, it would make total sense that they're not calling the game off yet because they want people to spend money before they leave. I've seen that being tossed around as an idea over there on CeeLo's chat. And I could absolutely agree with that. I mean, it seems very plausible that would happen. And I'm sure that's why at Detroit, the same thing, you know, happened for a rain delay in Detroit. That they waited and waited and waited and waited before announcing that it was going to be DH to the next day. No news. No updated news, I should say. Just did a refresh and still nothing. Let me check out. I'll check out the Philadelphia broadcasts and then maybe even check out like the radio broadcasts and see if any of them are doing anything at all. Looks like they have the same, just the event is in weather delay type commercial front end. We'll check, like I said, we'll check the audio feeds as well.
Anytime soon. In fact, the last report we are getting now is they are hoping that maybe 8:30 is a time that we can get things started. 8:30 here in South Philadelphia, but as we know, that is subject to change. We certainly can't be 100% sure, but we'll shoot for 8:30 in hopes of getting some baseball played here tonight.
There you go.
At Citizens Bank Park. In the meantime, I know we have Ryan in Langhorne on the phone, so let's see what's on Ryan's mind. Ryan?
Hey, Greg, how you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I want to first start off talking about Aaron Nola.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the guy has been an innings eater over the years. I don't even know this year. I think he has like the most innings, and he gives the Phillies lots of innings. But the thing is, what I think he does, the biggest issue is with him. I think he second guesses himself and overthinks when he gets 2 strikes on guys, because we see when guys are down 0-2 a lot of the times, or 1-2, that's when he gives up a lot of hits and even home runs. Because I don't think he trusts a lot of his best pitches in those situations. He overthinks and he just doesn't trust his stuff. And we've seen that a lot this year, but it's even happened over the years, but especially this year. Why do you think he's overthinking when he gets 2 strikes on guys?
Yeah, it's an interesting thought, Ryan. So obviously I don't know for sure that's what's going on in his mind. However, to your point, a lot of damage done on 2 strikes against Aaron Nola, not only this year, but I think you're right, in previous years as well. It's probably something that they have done a deep dive on in the analytics room and trying to figure some things out, whether or not it's he doesn't trust his stuff, as you said, in those situations. I don't know. I don't know if you get to the point in Aaron Nola's career that he has gotten to without trusting your stuff.
All right, since they're just talking about the baseball stuff,
when he makes mistakes, it seems to be in those critical times. So,
welcome in, everybody. If you're just joining us, still under weather delay.
Nola
no guarantee, but the Philadelphia radio broadcast just announced that they're possibly shooting for an 8:30 Eastern start
in the National League in terms of innings pitched this year, behind only Marcus Stroman and Logan Webb He has 94 and 2/3 innings pitched. Stroman has 98 and 2/3. Logan Webb 98 and a third. So
Matt wouldn't be able
to
to.
deep into games.
Kenneth,
It's very often we see him.
He
have
works
that,
until 5 in the afternoon every day. And
tomorrow, batters, whether it be
tomorrow there would be the early game, and then
put it all
even the
together
second
against
game
him
would start
and
before
do the
he,
damage,
long
and then
before
he's
you
able
get
to
off
settle
work.
back in. It's a head scratcher for sure, because the talent we all know is there, and he just
had the option to be on tonight, especially with the weather delay, to be able to do one.
You'll hear Ben Davis or even Ruben Amaro or even Tom McCarthy say a lot of times, I'm expecting him to throw this pitch in this situation, like especially when it's 2 strikes, and it always seems like it's something that's different and a pitch that you don't expect.
Yeah, and that's a combination between Aaron Nola and JT Realmuto. JT is calling the games, and now obviously Aaron has the ability to shake them off and kind of move to a different pitch if that's what he wants to do. But a lot of these guys put a lot of trust in JT to call the game as well. So if we had an answer to that question, if anybody knew why that was happening, they'd fix it certainly very quickly. But, at the end of the day, I don't think Aaron's having the best year of his career right now, and that certainly can change with another half of the season still to play. But he's still a guy that goes out there and gives you a chance to win virtually every time he's out there on the mound.
Absolutely.
And then that's a good thing, and I think.
And it's usually that one bad inning you alluded to.
Yeah, and he won his last start, but he gave up all the runs in that one inning. I think it was the third inning against. I guess that was against Arizona, but he was able to hold on and kind of right the ship a little bit and get things pointed back in the right direction. The offense did enough.
So since we kind of have a little bit of idea, guys and gals, that it's going to be a possible 8:30 p.m. Eastern start time, I'm going to go ahead and get these lights out of my eyes. I'm going to go ahead and shut my cam view off.
More with against lefties, because I just don't understand that the guy's really good, and he's hitting. He's a league leader, like with 2 strikes on him, and when he's down in the count, and I just don't understand why he keeps doing that with Stott. And then, yesterday, I think he was pitching as far as not that game, but he was looking further into the season about keeping guys healthy. I understand not using Max Strom, which I think he's being way overused compared to past years.
Yeah.
But Jose Alvarado, Soto, is he looking more into the season later and trying to keep them from being overused as opposed to looking at this series against the Braves?
Yeah, well, I mean, he was asked that question last night in the post-game press conference, and he did say that 3 relievers were unavailable last night, so that obviously influenced his decision. Look, the very general answer to that question is, I think everybody is kind of trying to balance the importance of winning tonight versus the importance of keeping your guys healthy so that they can pitch in July, August, and September as well. And I don't know that anybody knows what that right balance is, and I don't know that anybody, it's certainly an inexact science. We hear load management in every sport nowadays, and I don't know how old you are, but I grew up in a era where there was no such thing as load management. The guys went out there and played, and I don't know if injuries were more prevalent back then or less, but it's just different now, and I do think that every team kind of tries to strike that perfect balance between giving their guys rest and getting them out there to win crucial games. And it's not always going to work out perfectly, and last night was a situation that didn't work out. Now, if Hoffman had come in and not walked the first batter and given up a couple of runs in that inning, we might be having a different conversation. So ultimately, it comes back to player performance on the field that makes the manager's decisions look, brilliant or not so brilliant. And I think that's the situation we saw last night. So, but interesting stuff, Ryan. I appreciate your call. And to answer your Bryson Stott question, yes, I do. I think Bryson is slowly earning himself that opportunity to play.
Yeah, it's possible.
Right-handers and left-handers. And I think as the season progresses,
I typed in right after you had said something over on CeeLo's chat.
The season gets deeper and deeper.
I got the
162 schedule. So
as you can hear,
what I would say about that.
This is the
Ryan. Appreciate your call.
This is the Phillies broadcast out there at the stadium.
A couple of other brass out on the field, kind of assessing the situation down on the field. But the latest we have been told is an 8:30 projected start now. For the
8:30
Phillies
projected.
and Braves here in Game 2. So let's hope that's the case. That's just about a half an hour from now. So we are going to take a quick break. We'll come back. I'm going to give you the out-of-town scoreboard. It was a busy day in baseball today. Still some games to be played, but a lot of games already finished. So we'll give you the out-of-town scoreboard and maybe listen to the audio highlights from last night's loss, 4-2 loss to the Braves. And then we'll see where we're at that point here on the Phillies Radio Network. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
I replaced all my Lululemon shorts with Bird Dogs. Bird Dog shorts do the exact same thing, but fit way better. They actually look like khaki shorts, so I can wear them all day for my morning hike or bike ride to the bar. I can't stop wearing them. Join over 1 million guys who discovered the best shorts on the market. Go to birddogs.com/MLB and enter promo code BASEBALL for a free baseball hat with your order. That's birddogs.com/MLB. Promo code BASEBALL for a free hat. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you.
Instacart doesn't just help me get groceries and more delivered in as fast as an hour. I get time back. Time with my family. Cannonball.
Sorry about
Time
that.
in Downward Dog. Time catching up on my favorite shows. When I spend less time shopping, I spend more time doing the things I love with the ones I love. Visit instacart.com to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. $10 minimum per order. Additional terms apply.
Your points are worth more than you think. This first-class flight to Tokyo, you can book it in your credit card portal for 1.4 million points. Yowzers. With Point Me, you could redeem just 120,000 points for that same flight. Now
Hey,
that's
Jaden,
more like
thank you
it.
for the
Point Me
subscription.
gets
I
you
appreciate
6 to
that.
12 times the value for your points. Your credit
Looks
card
like
points are
projected.
worth more
They're
than you
projecting
think.
the start
Point Me.
time to be
Better
8:30
flights, fewer points.
8:30
Get started
Eastern,
today
guys.
at point.me.
8:30
That's
Eastern.
point.me.
That
Angie's
should
List
be in
is
about a
now
half
Angie.
hour.
We've heard a lot of theories about why.
But there's
I
no
thought it was an
guarantee.
ego move.
Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Here's what's trending now. You can defer payments of a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite, gaining visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. Everything they need to reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity. Whether your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, take advantage of this special financing offer of no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/pitch. That's netsuite.com/pitch.
Tired of buying a bunch of different shorts for working out, looking good, and just life in general? Try Bird Dogs. They feel like gym shorts, but look like khaki shorts. The ultra-breathable fabric keeps you cool, and the built-in liner is an added layer of support. To top it all off, Bird Dog shorts look so good you can wear them anywhere. Go to birddogs.com/MLB and enter promo code BASEBALL for a free baseball hat with your order. That's birddogs.com/MLB, promo code BASEBALL for a free hat. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off, we promise you.
And welcome back to Citizens Bank Park. Yeah, we're hoping for some Phillies baseball here tonight along the Phillies Radio Network. At last word we've gotten is that they are hoping that maybe they can get this thing started about 8:30. It is now almost 8 o'clock straight up, and the tarp is still on the field. I'm trying to take a look. It does look like the rain has subsided quite a bit over the last couple of minutes. I don't know what that means for future rain, but just looking at the puddles on top of the dugout, which is my scientific way of deciding whether or not it's raining really hard, it does look like it has slowed down a little bit. So we'll obviously keep you posted as we move along here at the ballpark. Everybody hoping that they can get Game 2 of this series in versus the Atlanta Braves. So much anticipation coming in to this particular
Yeah,
series.
it'd be nice to be able to get it in.
Two of the teams
tonight.
playing the best in all of baseball. Both teams coming in having won 13 of 15 games. Both teams coming into the series on 6-game winning streaks before the Braves took Game 1 last night. And speaking of last night, let's take you through the audio highlights from last night. It was an old-fashioned pitcher's duel early on in this game, and not surprising with Ranger Suarez and Spencer Strider, the two starters on the hill last night. So we'll jump to the fifth inning, pick up the action there. Brandon Marsh with a one-out single to get things going for the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber followed with a single of his own. Trey Turner flew out to deep right center field. So with 2 outs, it was up to Nick Castellanos.
Strider delivers, and the pitch swung on, punched the other way, a base hit. Phillies are on the board. In to score is Marsh. Stopping at second is Schwarber, and Nick Castellanos back in the lineup. And he's driven in his 43rd run of the year. It's 1-0 Phillies.
Yeah, so Phils get the early lead. Certainly a good feeling at that point. And Ranger Suarez was pitching very well indeed into the 6th inning. But with 1 out, Austin Riley was the batter.
The 1-1 swung on, blasted. High and deep to left, and Austin Riley has tied the game. It hits off the facing of the second deck down the left field line. And just like that, we're tied again. It's 1-1 on Riley's 12th home run of the year and his 4th against the Phillies.
Yeah, he loves to swing the bat against the Philadelphia Phillies, does Austin Riley. And, you know, this Atlanta Braves offense.
Again, if you're just joining us,
all season
we are
long.
currently under weather delay. They are hoping for an 8:30 p.m. Eastern start time.
7 different players with at least 10 home runs already this year, and they lead the majors in both home runs and OPS so far in 2023. So not surprising. They had a couple of long balls here last night. Ranger, for his part, went 6 innings last night. He had 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts in the contest. So certainly continues his hot streak as a starting pitcher, and pitched well enough to win last night, but it wasn't in the cards. In the 7th, it was more Atlanta Braves. Jeff Hoffman in to pitch in relief, and he would issue a leadoff walk. Rob Thompson saying after the game he really thought that was the big moment in the game because it was followed by a pinch double by Eddie Rosario, and then 2 batters later, it was Ronald Acuna Jr.
Acuna 0 for 3 as he has flied to center a couple of times and hit into a fielder's choice. The pitch. Swung on, ripped into center. That's a base hit in front of Marsh. He fields on a hop. 1 run will score. The throw is airmailed to the plate, but Acuna, who was hardly running to first, has to stop there. It's an RBI single for Ronald Acuna, and the Braves have their first lead. It's 2-1.
Yeah, and they would add another to make it 3-1. And what a season Ronald Acuna Jr. is having right now. He's in the leadoff spot for these Atlanta Braves, batting .327. He has 15 home runs and 46 RBI already this year. Certainly making a case for an early MVP candidate is Ronald Acuna Jr. So the score was 3-1. Then in the 8th, Andrew Vasquez was into the game with 1 out, and the first batter he faced was Matt Olson.
Pitch swung on and blasted down the right field line. Fair, it's gone, and it's gone. Into the second deck. Matt Olson crushes one down the right field line. His 21st home run of the season, and the Braves extend their lead a little further. It's 4-1.
4-1 at that point. Now the Phillies would add one in the 9th to make it 4-2. And they got the tying run to the plate, but it wasn't enough, and they end up losing last night 4-2. So they dropped game 1 of this, very important series for sure, taking on the team with a commanding lead in the National League East right now in the Atlanta Braves. Last night, the Phils just 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. That was an issue, and it has been an issue in their losses this year, which makes sense. Phils are batting just .175 with runners in scoring position in losses this year. That ranks 28th in all of baseball so far this season. All right, we're going to take a break in just a second, but first let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves along the Phillies radio network. And welcome back as we are still in a rain delay here at Citizens Bank Park. I did tell you I'm going to give you an update on the out-of-town scoreboard. A lot of games already finals today and a lot of games in action right now, so we'll take you through that. In the National League East, everybody else has played today. Except for the Braves and the Phillies, obviously. It was Houston 10 and the New York Mets 8. Houston wins that game. That is a final. I know Pete Alonso had a home run in that game, number 23 on the year for him, but in a losing effort as the Mets continue to scuffle. They are now 34-40 on the season, 6 games under 500. It was the Toronto Blue Jays 6 and the Miami Marlins 3, and the Toronto Blue Jays able to beat Alcantara today. No easy task, and he drops to 2-6 on the season to Sandy Alcantara with a 5.08 ERA. And it was the Washington Nationals 3 and the St. Louis Cardinals nothing. And so the Nats get a win at home against the Cardinals earlier today. Other finals to tell you about: Tampa Bay beat Baltimore today 7-2. It was Cincinnati Reds continuing to stay hot. They won today 5-3. Pittsburgh losers at home today to the Cubs 8-3, the final in that one. The Tigers better than Kansas City today, 9-4 was the final, and it was Arizona 5 and Milwaukee 1. That game in Milwaukee. The Diamondbacks get their 45th win of the season. A couple of games in progress right now. The New York Yankees playing at home. They have a 3-0 lead over Seattle. It's the Oakland A's 4 and the Cleveland Guardians 2. That game in the bottom of the third in Cleveland. It was the Boston Red Sox and Minnesota at 1-1 tie right now. That game in the bottom of the second. And then 3 games just about to get underway. Texas and the White Sox. A little bit later,
Right,
the Dodgers
let's get back
and the
here
Angels
and we're going to check
the
Twitter
Padres
again.
and the San Francisco Giants. All right, we're going to take another timeout here on the Phillies Radio Network, but when we come back, we will check in on a great story of one of the great players in Phillies history. Of course, Dick Allen, who we celebrated a little bit earlier this season, celebrated his life and his legacy here in Philadelphia as a ball player and as a man. And we're going to listen to Leaving a Legacy, the Dick Allen story. That's coming up on the other side. So stay with us right here on the Phillies Radio Network.
Don't you wish your khaki shorts were legitimately comfortable instead of stiff cotton?
Nothing.
Try Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs stretch khaki shorts look like khaki
Nothing
shorts,
new on
but feel
Twitter.
like gym shorts. They have it all.
But
Anti-stink,
we have the Philadelphia
sweat-wicking fabric,
broadcaster,
a super
and
comfortable built-in
as he
liner,
said,
and
they're-
zipper
they're
pockets to
hoping
keep
for an
everything secure.
8:30
It's
start
time to
time.
swap your old school khakis for Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/MLB and enter promo code BASEBALL for a free baseball hat with your order. That's birddogs.com/MLB, promo code BASEBALL for a free hat. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off, we promise you.
Your points are worth more than you think. This first-class flight to Tokyo, you can book it in your credit card portal for 1.4 million points. Yowzers. With Point Me, you could redeem just 120,000 points for that same flight. Now that's more like it. Point Me gets you 6 to 12 times the value for your points. Your credit card points are worth more than you think. Point Me. Better flights, fewer points.
Get started today at point.me. That's point.me.
Here's what's trending now. You can defer payments of a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite, gaining visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. Everything they need to reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity. Whether your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, take advantage of this special financing offer of no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/pitch. That's netsuite.com/pitch.
Butler County REC urges you to use care this planting season to ensure safety for everyone. Keep equipment at least 10 feet from power lines and use a spotter when operating large machinery near power lines. Never attempt to move a power line to clear a path. Your safety and the safety of all those around you is important, so look up and live. Butler County REC wishes you a safe and successful planting season.
Looking to outfit your home, upgrade your wardrobe, or find that perfect
Right, I'll
gift?
be right back.
Etsy has it. Shop home, style, and gifts made for all budgets by independent sellers. Use code PROMO10 to get 10% off your first purchase. That's PROMO10. Maximum discount value of $50. Offer ends June 30th, 2023. See terms at etsy.com/terms. Etsy has it. Shop etsy.com.
Don't you wish your khaki shorts were legitimately comfortable instead of stiff cotton? Try Bird Dogs. Bird Dog's stretch khaki shorts look like khaki shorts, but feel like gym shorts. They have it all. Anti-stink, sweat-wicking fabric, a super comfortable built-in liner, and zipper pockets to keep everything secure. It's time to swap your old school khakis for Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/MLB and enter promo code BASEBALL for a free baseball hat with your order. That's birddogs.com/MLB, promo code BASEBALL for a free hat. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off, we promise you.
And we're back here at Citizens Bank Park, and not too much to report in the way of when this baseball game might get started. Greg Murphy here with you. The rain's still coming down here. Not hard, but it's still coming down at Citizens Bank Park. The tarp is still on the field. So, a lot of work needs to be done before the field would even be ready to play. So we are still in for a delay for sure. And 8:30 was the latest that we had heard, but I think it's safe to say that this game will not be starting at 8:30 here in South Philadelphia, so that's been pushed back even more. As soon as we have word as to when we may start or any other kind of news here in South Philly, we will bring it your way. But in the meantime, Dick Allen, who we celebrated earlier this year here at the ballpark, still trying to get one of the great players in Phillies history to Cooperstown, where he belongs. But certainly a beautiful celebration here as they retired his number earlier this year at the ballpark. And his family was here to be a part of that. It was great to see. And, we have a special program that was put together about 2 years ago called Leaving a Legacy, the Dick Allen story. And it was narrated by none other than Ryan Howard. And we're going to bring that to you right now.
Parkesea, Pennsylvania, spring of 1975. On the hills of the thoroughbred horse farm owned by former Phillies slugger Dick Allen. After more than a decade in the majors, a career that included National League Rookie of the Year and American League MVP honors, the baseball legend had retired. A nagging leg injury and a desire to settle down led him back to the quiet life in Bucks County. That is, until one day, a few friends paid him a secret visit. Their names were Richie Ashburn, Mike Schmidt, and Dave Cash. One was a retired Phillies legend. The other two were infielders from the talented young nucleus, ready to take the next step in Philadelphia. They arrived at the farm with one goal: convince Allen to come out of retirement and join the Phillies team in need of a veteran bat. Oh, and no one could know about it. That would be tampering. So if anyone asked, they were just having dinner.
They had a real nice barn where the horses, could work out inside. So we went out and spent a few hours with him. We shot some hoops he had a hoop in his barn, and it was really the first time I had ever met him.
That's Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt, who was fresh off his first All-Star selection in 1974.
I think it was mostly Richie Ashburn that put that whole thing together. And Richie said, hey, man, maybe you guys should take some guys and go out and talk to him and see if he would feel like coming back and playing for the Phillies. He was aware of the Phillies and who played on the team. And, he knew about Dave, and obviously he knew about me. As I had found out, he had a lot of respect for us.
Dave Cash was the Phillies' second baseman.
And I was all in for it, because we were building a team and Dick was available. I guess it's a lifelong dream to have Dick Allen on your side. At least that's the way I thought. Dick hit some of the hardest balls I've ever seen hit, and he was a tremendous athlete. But more than that, he was a student of the game, which impressed me a lot when I went to have a chance to have a conversation with him. I tried to convince him that with his help, we had a chance to take the National League East because we were young and talented, and all we needed was a strong bat like his to be in the middle of our lineup, and it's going to make us a better team. We had a little horse game going, and I can't remember who won, but we had a pretty good time shooting little baskets together. We also went out and walked a few horses around the barn and stuff like that, but most of the conversation was centered around baseball, and we just laid out what we had.
He didn't give us one quick answer or anything. He had some questions to ask us, and he asked us about whether we thought the group of guys there were committed to winning. Did he think we could win? And of course, you're talking about 75, and we were starting to rise through the National League East at that time. And yes, we were very much ready to win as a team.
After dinner and a full evening on the ranch, the three Phillies ambassadors left. Allen gathered his wife, Barbara, and three kids, Button, Terry, and Richard Jr. It was a family decision. Richard remembers it well.
He sat myself, my sister, and my brother down, and he said, "What do you think?" He said, "Do you think Dad should go back to Philly?" And we were young, we were all like, yeah. And he went, "All right, so it is."
But it wasn't an easy decision. Allen was just getting over the effects of his broken leg from 2 seasons ago. He was also under contract by the Atlanta Braves. But more importantly, Allen was deciding if he wanted to go back to the city that never fully embraced him. One that threatened him viciously and saw the color of his skin before his humanity or even his baseball skills.
He had to be encouraged or convinced, or he had to see some motivation for doing that because, his history with the Phillies and the Philly fans surely wasn't that great.
To understand why this decision was so emotional and difficult, we have to rewind. For future All-Stars, Rookie of the Year winners, and MVPs like myself. In this podcast, you will hear from teammates, coworkers, and friends who knew Allen best as we remember his remarkable life and career. It was all too common for black players to experience racism and abuse even years after the baseball color barrier was first broken. It began for Allen in his very first days in pro ball. Little Rock, Arkansas, 1963. Deep in the Jim Crow South. The Phillies' new International League affiliate, the Arkansas Travelers, were set to play their first game after months of controversy. The segregated city was barely granted a minor league team due to its citizens' refusal to tolerate integrated baseball. After all, this was just 6 years after Governor Orville Faubus used the Arkansas National Guard to prevent black and white students from going to school together in Little Rock. But Major League Baseball assured its minor league teams that black players would receive equal treatment. In Wampum, Pennsylvania, Dick Allen was living at home after playing for the Phillies minor league squad in Williamsport. Following a high school career where he dominated in both basketball and baseball, the athletic power hitter was signed by the Phillies scout John Ogden to a contract with a $60,000 signing bonus. It was negotiated by Allen's mother, Ira.
Yes, I'm laughing because she's no nonsense.
That's Dick Allen's son, Richard Allen Jr. He's heard hundreds of family stories over the years. When his father was informed of the Phillies' decision to send him to Little Rock in 1963, red flags were raised by his family immediately.
Before signing, my grandmother did not want him to go. She was afraid for him to leave. She said, no, he can go and right to the mill. He can work and make honest living there. And my Uncle Sonny was the one that talked her into letting him go. So then he gets to Little Rock. He told me, he said when the plane landed, he looked out and saw all those people and the signs, and they had the racial slurs and, with the gun and everything. He said he didn't want to get off the plane. He said they're gonna kill me. Someone with the Phillies met him. They got him to where he needed to go, which was the hotel. I believe it was a Holiday Inn. He said he had 3 days to find housing. And then after that, you're on your own. He could have stayed in the hotel and paid, out of pocket, or he had to find a place.
Hal Patillo, the father of one of the Little Rock Nine, who fought to integrate a public school in Arkansas, tracked down Allen and gave him a place to stay in his home. He was across town from his other teammates, but at least he was safer. He put the crowd at the airport out of his mind. It was time to play ball. On opening day, Governor Fautmus, the well-known segregationist, threw out the first pitch. It seemed strange that he would be honored by the integrated team. It seemed strange that Allen was put in this position to begin with. Decades later, Richard Jr. learned the federal government ordered Arkansas to integrate its new team, or else the state and city government would suffer.
They had to integrate. They had to integrate, and if not, they would lose funding. So my father was that guy, and just to keep the funding for Little Rock. So he had no idea, and I told my father this, and my father went, so that's why they left me there.
Outside, fans viciously protested. They held up signs they called Allen a variety of racial slurs. Inside, white fans made up a vast majority of the segregated crowd. They let Allen know he was not welcome. The first batter lifted the ball to Allen in left field. Nervous and admittedly intimidated by the crowd, he let the ball get over his head and roll to the wall. Boos and jeers rained down. He stared straight and tried to ignore it. At the plate, Allen let his talent do the talking. He doubled twice and singled in the first game of a winning season for the Travelers. It was a rush of emotions. After the final out, Allen sat in the dugout alone. He let the clubhouse clear, and he gathered his thoughts. He never dealt with that kind of vitriol in wampum. He played in 3 minor league cities and didn't get this abuse. Going through this every game? What about going to the store, to the movies? And all was daunting. With his head down, he arrived at his car and he saw a piece of paper on the windshield. Alone in the parking lot, he read the note. It told him to never come back again. It called him the N-word. It sent a clear and this time tangible message.
To be in Little Rock, Arkansas, and be black at that time in our country's history, not a good thing.
That's Chris Wheeler, who worked in the Phillies public relations and broadcasting for more than 4 decades.
To get down there and be the only black player on that team down there with the racism that was in the South at that time, better be careful qualifying at that time the way things are now. But it was a tough situation. Now, it's easy to second guess the whole thing. But should the Phillies have put him in that situation? Of course not. But that was their AAA club, and that was the thing you did back then. You kind of advanced.
My mother, she went to go see him in Little Rock. He told her when she got down there, my mother and father, both from Pennsylvania, and they, never experienced the Jim Crow laws. She said, your father told me, get everything that you're going to get for the game and everything that you want from the concession and whatever, and I want you to sit right over top of the dugout where I can see you and keep my eye on you. She told me she had to go to the doctor's office when she was down there, and she went around lunchtime, and they told her that the doctor's not in. He'll be back in an hour, and when you come back, could you use the back door? Yeah, and even for like the movies, they would all have to go to the theater in groups. For my mother, born and raised in Pennsylvania, you didn't see those things. She went, huh? For him, he's there in the hotel, but he wasn't allowed to eat at the hotel. He said the guy came up with the cart, cracked the door, he saw it was me, pulled the cart back. He said Joe Lynette, who was across the hall, ordered room service, and he went over there to eat. That's how he got to eat.
Visiting players saw it too, like former Phillies slugger Gary the Sarge Matthews. He played for the Amarillo Giants in 1971 and dreaded road games in Little Rock.
I have never seen so many monkeys hung on a string and the talk and the calling of this, where we went from the ballpark to the hotel, vice versa, in Little Rock, Arkansas. I lived that. And I didn't even go through an even inkling of what Hammer and those guys went through.
So you had to be able to deal with that and still perform.
Dave Cash.
It was difficult because it was humiliating, we're down there trying to do something, trying to advance to the next level, and we got people calling us names. The person in the stands could say almost anything, and they wouldn't take them out of the stands or anything. It was degrading, and a person could become very hateful if he let his mind run away from him because of some of the things that was done and said.
You read the history of this country with race in the 60s, it was awful. Just awful, because what was happening was there was an awakening going on where some people were actually thinking, it's not right that our fellow citizens can't do the things that we can do because we're white and they aren't. So that was, sports got caught up in that, like everything else in the 60s. And he was a very bright, thoughtful guy. And baseball wasn't the only thing to him. There were other things in his life that were important. I think that left a lot of scars, what happened to him in Little Rock. I think that was the beginning of some things that would fester later on when he got similar treatment in Philadelphia in the late 60s.
Allen's family stayed in Pennsylvania for most of the 1963 season. He didn't want to expose them to what he had endured daily. Like one day, during his first week in Little Rock, when Allen was getting a soda from a vending machine, he heard yelling as someone said, "There he is." He turned around to see a gun pointed right at his face. It was a cop accusing him of stealing the soda he had just paid for. These incidents were constant.
I think it was a shock to him because he hadn't heard that in Wampum, Pennsylvania. It just didn't exist. He didn't get treated like that.
Alone and scared, it took a call from his mama to keep him going. Here's Allen in his own words, remembering that phone call.
I recall her saying, "Dick, yes, ma'am. You put that phone to your ear. You hear me? Yes, ma'am. Now, God gave you to me. I've raised you according to his word. He's given you a talent and a place to show it.
And don't you let him drive you out. He's given you that talent, and I'm your mother. If you do, you're not being disobedient to me. You're being disobedient to God."
Boy, he said, I hung up the phone. I had my little pity party for myself. He said, that was it. And then he never looked back. He said, I went there, probably the most hated person. He said, but when I left, I was the most liked person.
Okay, so we're now at 8:30.
And they saw what kind of a player he was, and he said he left.
I still see it says under weather delay. We'll see if the Phillies broadcast comes up and says anything.
Allen slugged a team-high 33 home runs with 97 RBI in 1963. He also led the Travelers in hits, runs scored, and OPS. He got the call to make his major league debut in September of 1963. His year in Little Rock was over. He was set to play a full season in Philly, starting in 1964. As Allen packed his bags and left Arkansas, he planned to never go back. He meant it.
I even tried years later, maybe about 4 years ago. I asked him, I said, Dad, I said, what if we just take a road trip to Little Rock and you can show me around? He hung up the phone on me. He said, that's like walking to a graveyard. And he hung the phone up on me.
Philadelphia, 1964. A fresh start. Phillies fans knew a powerful slugger who lit up spring training was on his way for a full season in Philly. The excitement was palpable, as Chris Wheeler remembers.
He was legendary in the minor leagues. Look, back in those days, we didn't have Comcast Sportsnet televising spring training games. We didn't have radio for the most part. They didn't do that many radio games. You had to use your imagination more than we do now when everything's instant gratification and you could see it. So we had this picture of this great big guy, that was hitting these towering home runs in spring training, and we just couldn't wait to see him. Of course, when we did see him finally, he was only 5'10" or 5'11". He wasn't this great bigger than life human being, but to us he became a bigger than life player when we went to see him play.
All right. Unfortunately, guys and gals,
moved to third base
if they do not get this game started, I unfortunately will not be able to stream it. But I tell you what, On the Go with CeeLo is in fact going to stream tonight if they do have the game, so you'll certainly be able to watch it over there. Have an early day, very early day tomorrow.
18 home runs, 44 RBI. There she goes.
I have to be up, and I want to be able to be up and get that done. And we'll have to see about the stream.
And he hits a 3-2 curveball right over the soft drink sign on the roof.
Hank Aaron used to hit low bullets. Richie Allen used to hit a lot of high home runs. He would hit them over the roof at Connie Mack. That was our thing. When he would hit one, you've read about it, you've heard about it. It's true. He would hit the ball over the roof at Connie Mack Stadium, over the big signs that were on the advertising signs that were on the top of the roof.
Green Bay right-hander comes sidearm and hitter. Tremendous drive. Way up on the roof in center field. A home run. There's a long. I don't think you'd believe that was hit against the wind, dead center field, in the bleachers, in the upper deck. You got to see this the way he's swinging that bat right now.
Larry Schenk worked in public relations for the Phillies for more than 50 years. 1964 was his rookie year, too.
I didn't travel with the team in those days. So I'm watching the game on TV or listening to the radio. They're mostly on radio. I didn't go get something to eat or go to the bathroom when he was coming back because I didn't want to miss anything. Sandy Grady, one of the most talented writers I ever saw, he would show up about the fourth inning, had no notebooks, no typewriter or anything, and he walked in the press box. And a few innings later, Dick hit this monster home run. He said, "How far do you think that went?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Let's go look." So he and I left the ballpark, went down, and we're walking behind the left field wall. I forget the name of the street. There was a man sitting on his porch. He said, "The ball landed right over there." So started walking 3-foot lengths. Scientifically, we came up with 529 feet. I made sure we stayed at 529 whenever I wrote stories or put it someplace. And now StatCast gives you the distance and all that stuff. So it's come a long way.
First down, and here's the first one, Allen.
Allen was
Tired of buying a bunch of different shorts for working out, looking good, and just life in general? Try Bird Dogs. They feel like gym shorts, but look like khaki shorts. The ultra-breathable fabric keeps you cool, and the built-in liner is an added layer of support. To top it all off, Bird Dog shorts look so good you can wear them anywhere. Go to birddogs.com/MLB and enter promo code BASEBALL for a free baseball hat with your order. That's birddogs.com/MLB, promo code BASEBALL for a free hat. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you.
Here's what's trending now. You can defer payments of a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite, gaining visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. Everything they need to reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity. Whether your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, take advantage of this special financing offer of no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/pitch. That's netsuite.com/pitch.
Are you self-motivated, driven, and want to make a
All right,
greater
well,
impact
everybody,
with a growing, small local company?
I'd like to say thank you for those that did stop by and help support the lights. Okay, we made our 10 light goal without even getting the broadcast going. I do apologize about it, but as you know, we cannot control the weather.
An hour plus a sign-on bonus, paid travel and lodging, and more.
I have a very early day. I have to be up at 3 in the morning, so unfortunately I can't wait 2 hours for a delay and then do another 3-hour stream tonight.
Urges you
So
to use care this planting season to ensure safety for
go
everyone.
Braves!
Keep equipment
If they
at
do end up
least 10
playing,
feet from power lines
if
and
you're
use a
looking to
spotter
watch,
when operating
looking to
large
have a stream just like
machinery
I
near
do,
power
head on
lines.
over to On the Go
Never
with CeeLo.
attempt to move a power line
He can
to clear
more
a
than
path.
take care of your
Your
needs and
safety
everything
the
over there.
safety of
So
all those around you is important.
it looks
So
like
look up
he says
and
he's in
live.
for the long
Butler
haul.
County
Unfortunately,
wishes
I
you a
cannot be
safe
on the
and
long haul tonight.
successful
As I said, I
planting
have to be up
season.
at 3 a.m.
Invest in your future at Columbia College. Take that next step toward the career you've been dreaming of. From a
So,
leader in online learning for over 20 years.
With that
Make a
said,
difference in your
this is
future with a
KGB for the
degree
C
from
Sports
Columbia
Network,
College. Learn
and I
more
will
at
talk to you later.
yourfuture.ccis.edu.
Tired of buying a bunch of different shorts for
Yeah, Kenneth. Sorry, I just seen your guys' chat. I know we're in the ending screen now, but that's right. Yeah, I just looked in the weather radar. I do not believe they'll have it tonight. So we're already, it's 7:40. We're 2 hours past the original game start time. So. Again, everybody, I want to say thank you for everybody that participated, hung out, listened to music. I will be keeping the chat vote. We'll compare those with we'll just have to call this one. So let me get that ended. And I need to get a screenshot of that. But yeah, guys, sorry about tonight. Hopefully we get the doubleheader tomorrow and we don't have a rain delay for that. I did not look ahead to see what tomorrow's weather looks. But, yeah, this is KGB for the C Sports Network, everybody. I will talk to you later.